Oh, hello. How are you? It's kind of dark outside, so it's a little grainy here in the land of live stream. Let's do something about that, shall we? Whoop whoop. Turn some lights on. Oh, that's gonna help. It's just gonna make my face darker. Does cut down on the grain, which is good. Let's hi Bjorn Gustafsson. How are you? Greetings from Sweden. What time is it in Sweden right now? I've never been to Sweden. I want to go to Sweden. Hi Trent. How are you? I've been sitting here. So I learned the chords to Jolene because our baby likes the song Jolene by Dolly Parton. And then I so I just learned the chords, but then I decided I kind of want to try to learn the actual finger picking of the song, which now looking at it, it's very intense. It's like that's a lot. And I'm sitting here trying to learn it. I'm trying to go, so it's like my guitar is tuned lower though, so it's something like that. I don't know. I have to work on it to really get it good. But I'm going to play the song chord style right now. Here goes. Jolene. Wait. me. Jolene. I'm begging you, please don't take my man. Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can. Normally it would be like Jolene. It's like really finger pickery, but a lot better than that. Your beauty is beyond compare, with flaming locks of auburn hair, with ivory skin and eyes of emerald green. Your smile is like a breath of spring, your voice is soft like summer rain, and I cannot compete with you, Jolene. He talks about you in his sleep, there's nothing I can do to keep from crying when he calls your name, Jolene. And I can easily understand how you could easily take my man, but don't you know what it means to me, Jolene? You don't know what he means to me. Jolene. I'm begging you, please don't take my man. Jolene. Please don't take him just because you can. You could have your choice of men, but I could never love again. He's the only one for me, Jolene. And I have this talk with you, and I had to have this talk with you. My happiness depends on you, whatever you decide to do, Jolene. One more time, Jolene. I'm begging you, please don't take my man. Jolene. Please don't take him even though you can. Yeah. There's an amazing version of Jolene by Pentatonix, Dolly Parton, and Miley Cyrus. I didn't know that. I know there's a Miley Cyrus version by itself. I didn't know Dolly Parton is a part of it. Hazablade, how are you? First live stream, and you are so glad. Good to hear it. I just put up a song on the Wheezy News channel a few nights ago. One of my favorite Built to Spill songs called Car, and I may play it here. But first, how come I don't plug in for this? No, that would just sound weird, I think. I mean, I don't have the equipment lying around either. But and then you'd have to mix it, and it just would complicate everything. This is a loosey-goosey live stream. So people have asked me some questions for this live stream. Let's see. Some Sarah Dunavant will have to miss working for a small business today. Have you attempted baking any bread since you tried going zero waste? If so, how did it turn out? I have not. I have not tried yet. I do plan to, but I have not tried yet. Am I in a different room today? I'm in the same room that I've been doing my videos lately. Yeah. Well, it's nice and bright because I have this lamp turned right on to me because it's really dark outside. So normally I just rely on sunlight, but it's too dark. So now it's even brighter because I put lights on. Is it snowy in Wisconsin? It is not. I have not made bread yet. I plan to. I want to do like next year. I have several goal-oriented videos planned loosely. I don't know exactly when all of them will be, and I have a big list of videos that could probably last years. But as long as people continue caring about the things I'm trying to do, or if I continued wanting to make these kind of videos. But one of them is a cooking one. Like I cooked a gourmet meal every night for a month or something, just to try to learn how to cook, to get better at it. Maybe pick one day a week to do a type of meal, and then like every week on that day do that meal, so that I get better at it as I go on. But not the same meal every night, because then I don't think China would want to eat the same meal every night. So that's one plan, and maybe I'll bake my own bread during that time. I don't know. The lights behind me are not new, Niels. Those are just lights I never turn on because those lights look terrible on video. On streaming, it's fine, but on like my actual video, I would have to adjust the frame rate. Otherwise, it gets like really weird. They're fluorescent, so I don't use those in video. I would like to replace those with other lights, but I like the position of them. I think they look nice. My mom used to grind wheat and make a maize balls bread. I want to try, but I know it'd never be that good. Well, you could try. Maybe it will be that good. I mean, it's always better when someone else makes it. Just things taste better. And probably, it's your mom. It's what you grew up with. Trent Ladd asked me several questions. That's who I'm talking to right now. Trent. Your dad does a lot of work around the house. Is he just one of those guys who likes to work all the time? Yes. And your dad's like that too. Yes, he is. He retired. He worked in a factory for 35 years or more. The same company. The company moved, but he moved with them to a different factory. And he woke up at like, I don't know, 4 a.m. every day or earlier. Worked more than 8 hours every day in a factory. And it's amazing. We've never really had money problems as a family but I don't feel like I came from privilege. I did. I mean, we all have different levels of privilege. Some of us might not have any, but the privilege came from my dad's hard work. It was, he was just a hard worker. He never missed a day. He would work overtime. He just did what he had to do for the company, and the company ended up not doing what it had to do for him, but that's a different story. But that work ethic, I tried to apply to what I do. What I did when I started Wheezy Waiter was, you put in the time. You get up at a certain time. You make the thing and you do it. Now what I'm doing is it's harder. It's harder to reconcile those two things of like steady scheduled work with these long form creative videos that take a lot of forethought and writing that doesn't just come automatically if I just show up. Sometimes it does. It does. I should just show up every day and do it anyway, and eventually it'll work. But it's a lot harder to stay motivated when the ideas aren't flowing. It's not factory work. You can, to an extent, treat it like factory work, but not necessarily. And so I've always associated growing up a job with something that's hard, something that you have to show up to do whether you like it or not. And so what I do now, there's always this like ongoing guilt of like, this is too easy. Like I can do whatever I want. I don't like, some days when I don't get enough work done, I feel bad. I feel like, oh, I should have worked more. It's just a constant like feeling bad because you feel like, oh man, I could have done more. But really, there's only so much you can do in a day, and there's only so much mentally you can take. And sometimes you need a break, especially when you're doing creative stuff. So it's always this push and pull with in my head. And it might have a little to do with my dad's work ethic, my dad's type of work. And anyway, yes, he does like to work around the house. He retired, but he got a job mowing lawns at a golf course, even though he's retired. And he's not doing it now because it's becoming winter. But now he's like mulching our lawn and dealing with he's just helped install a toilet in our house because I don't have the time to do that stuff. So I'm working on other things. And Trent asked, does he at least let you learn from him on the more technical jobs like the garage door? He would, but I often don't have the time. But if I have a question, sure, he'll show me, oh man, I just smudged that up more. I was trying to unsmudge the camera. Boop, 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 boop. Doo-doo-doo. Neil's dad is 80 and still fit. He was a carpenter in the last decennia's indoor in a hardware store, creating and sawing things on request of people. He's still helping a lot of people with chores. That's great. I think I'm noticing it seems like people who are older, 70s, 80s, seems like there are more healthy people in their old age than there used to be. That's good for us, right? It means we're going to live longer, hopefully. Bjorn says the downside of being your own boss, I guess. Yeah, it kind of is. I mean, it worked well more. It felt more natural and more comfortable when I was doing videos every day, when it was more about getting it done rather than what it actually is, because it was comedy. It was nonsense comedy, so there was really no expectation other than try to make you laugh. And now it's a little more complicated because it's videos that have more of a purpose, individual videos that have a purpose, and I want them to be as good as possible, each one. So it's just a little different, you know. If you sit on the couch all day, you get older fast. If you get older and have something to do, you'll stay fit. That's true. Or if you try to exercise, try to get out. I've been feeling sick the past few days, and I've been kind of on the couch. I watched a lot of Watchmen last night. That show's amazing, by the way. But I was not getting exercise. Then I got out and I walked and made sure I got my 10,000 steps all in one big chunk yesterday. And I felt better when I did it. And I always do feel better when I do it. So get out and walk, everybody. If God forbid YouTube went away, what would you in China do to pay the bills? Trent asked. It's a good question. Well, one thing China has talked about wanting to do, she might do. I want to answer this question first. Haza says, do you have a system for managing your time now that you've switched the structure of your videos? No, that's the problem. Well, sort of. I'm trying to. I mean, our schedules are just around the baby. When the baby wakes up, she wakes up at around 6:30 or 7, and then we get up. China gets up first. they get up, then I get up, and China goes and gets ready for the day. So I watch the baby for a half hour to an hour. And then I get to work around, I don't know, 9 or 10. But it's always a little loosey-goosey. And I work until then our baby goes to sleep at like 11 until like 2 or 3. And sometimes 12 to 3, sometimes 11 to 2. And then when she gets up, somewhere around 4 or 5, I'll probably relieve China from baby duty, watch the baby for a little while again. And often then that's the end of the day for me. So I don't end up getting, I'm doing daddy work, being a dad, but also video work, and it's not as much as I'd like it to be. I am taking steps. Next year, I have a clear goal. I'm going to do a lot of goals to try to achieve this goal, but the goal is to get a full night's sleep every night and feel good when I wake up, which is always, it's been the goal since I started doing this, because I get tired and feel unproductive during the day these days. And I think it comes with old age, and it comes with being a parent and not getting enough sleep, and just, so I have this goal. So I'm going to quit alcohol for a month. I'm going to quit coffee for a month, different months, kind of see how it helps with energy throughout the day and sleep patterns. And, but my next goal, middle of the month, is I'm going to bed at 7 p.m. every night, because I want to try to get up early. I want my schedule to begin much earlier in the day, like my dad's schedule. This is tying everything we've been talking about together, except for maybe Dolly Parton. Although she did a song about working from 9 to 5, so loosely connected. I want to get up like at 4:30. I did that video about getting up at 4:30. I want to do that every day again. I'm not doing it right now because I went to Japan and it screwed up my sleep schedule, and I just can't get back to it. But I'm going to do a video where I try to go to bed every night at 7 p.m., ridiculously messing with my sleep schedule, and then ending up hopefully getting up ridiculously early. And then when I'm done with that, hopefully the habit of going to bed earlier will continue. Maybe not that early, but earlier. And then I can get up before everyone else in the house, get all of my email stuff, bull crap work done, and maybe start work on a video early before everyone's up, and I can be so focused because the day hasn't worn me down yet. And I always felt more productive when I got up really, really early. I love it. I love the feeling of being the first person up in the house. It's beautiful. Anyway, that's my goal. And all of these other goals that I'm going to be doing, all of these other videos, goal-oriented videos, are going to have to do with that. And also I'll have time to exercise more because I will be getting up early. I just want to feel good throughout the day, every day. As I get older, it's becoming harder and harder to do that. And it has to do with a lot of things. I think I do binge television at night and probably stay up too late often. I get stressed out about videos and getting things done, and that hurts my sleep. Coffee probably doesn't help, although I don't usually drink coffee in the afternoon. Alcohol probably doesn't help. Off and on, I'll have some alcohol, and that probably hurts my sleep. Anyway, when you're moving around the country, what did you miss most about Wisconsin? Interesting question, Trent. What did I miss most about Wisconsin? Well, when we were in Austin, I missed summers that weren't so terribly hot. And so, because summers in Wisconsin can be hot, but not that extremely hot. So I missed that. I also missed autumn. Like there was a bit of an autumn in Austin, but it wasn't like the autumn in Wisconsin. But other than weather, because that can apply to Chicago and Illinois also. Other than weather, because I lived in Chicago for 12 years, and that was outside of Wisconsin. But that's a big city. What else did I miss? Not having to drive really long ways to visit family. I miss. Well, Madison is a beautiful city. When I think of Wisconsin itself, I don't really miss like my hometown, my small hometown. I didn't really like small town living. But Madison itself is an awesome city, and I loved how easy it is. It's like easier than living in a big city. Everything's like there's more room, less crowded. It's good and bad because I love cities, and I'd love living in a big city. I'd rather live in a big city, actually, a bigger city. But being close to family for the baby is really good. But it is nice. It is nice to be able to not worry about traffic and parking and getting into restaurants like without like a ridiculously long wait all the time. There are a lot of really good restaurants in Madison. What I miss most? I don't know. Basically those things. Random question. What's your favorite Driftless Pony Club album you'd recommend? Sam Fogarty says, I think Buckminster is my favorite album overall, but there's so many songs I like from the other albums too. I think my favorite collection of songs we've done is from Expert. It's a 6-song EP. That's my the most solid thing we've done. I like every song in there. I like a lot. Buckminster might be second place for me. Yeah, I like Buckminster a lot. Yeah, my favorite Driftless Pony Club song we've done, I think, is we've done a lot, and I'd have to go back and listen to all of them again probably. But I think Thanks Earthquake, written by Matt, mainly written by Matt. We all kind of wrote it together, but that one's on Expert. Just love that song. Just love it. I was going to answer, what do I miss? No. What do I, what would China, I skipped, what would you and China do to pay the bills? China has been talking about being a surrogate, carrying a baby for a couple. She might still do that. She liked being pregnant. She didn't mind being pregnant, and she could do that again for people. That's one way to pay the bills. I think she would just do it because she wants to, though. That's not really like, if we're like really struggling, that might not be the best way to long term to think about how to pay the bills. Maybe it's just sort of a one-off or two-off job, or I don't know how many times she'd want to do it, but or how many times anyone could do it. I don't know. What would I do to pay the bills? If YouTube stopped paying the bills, there are several things, like several things that go through my mind. Like I've been meaning to write a novel, write things, blog, find other ways to be creative and make money. Sit back and do like a long form documentary. Like I am working on one, and I probably will work on more, or a movie. Those are all big creative risks though. Those aren't like practical ways to pay the bills. If we're talking about practical ways to pay the bills rather than like continuing to try to be creative in other ways, it's a good question. I might see what the university has to offer that's right nearby. See if I could like get into teaching classes about video editing or whatever. Although if YouTube doesn't pay the bills, that must mean that there's not a lot of future in video editing. So I don't know if I want it, if they would even want me there, but and that, what kind of world would that be where if YouTube went away, YouTube stopped paying the bills? Something online would be, because there's a market for online video. So I'd figure out a way to make it work, probably. But I've also considered how comfortable and nice it would be to just have a job that I can walk away from, a non-creative job, a job that you show up, you do your work, you go home. Not an office job. I've done an office job and I didn't like that. That was a bit soul crushing for me, but mostly probably because there was long periods of time when there was nothing to do. But waiting tables. I've considered going back to waiting tables. There are things about it I miss, but then I think about it more and I think about like how quickly it would probably get old for me if I started doing it again. But it would be nice to show up, do the work, make the money, go home, not have to think about it. There's no stress involved in like, what's the next thing I'm going to do? How do I invent another thing to do? How do I feel about TikTok? I feel nothing about TikTok. I've never watched TikTok. I don't really care. It's just a different thing. It's very different than what I'm doing now. Short, silly videos to entertain. I'm less interested in that right now. I'm more interested in trying long form stuff. Eric says, what video? 1 month of being a waiter again. I have considered stuff like that, but I don't like, it's like making entertainment out of a legitimate job that people have and being like the at the core of it, I'm saying like, whoa, can you believe it? I wanted to go back to waiting tables where, there are a lot of people who are career service industry. Why? And like, it just kind of makes it seem like I'm belittling it. I know I'm not. I know that's not your intention either, but that's what it seems like. So I don't want to do stuff like that. Like I've seen other YouTubers who are like, we went and had regular jobs for a day or two. I'm like, it's insulting. I think waiting tables can be a great job. You can make good money. I'm sure there are days where waiters make more money than I do per day, for sure. More money than I do per year, for sure. Depending on the restaurant you're at and the level of service. But I don't know. I think if I go back to waiting tables, it'll be completely on my own with no broadcasting of it. Maybe I'd talk about it. Maybe I'd blog about it afterwards. But waiting tables. I wasn't that good at it, but I kind of miss it. Trent says, maybe too personal, but does your family have a religious background? My family, yes, they're Catholic. And I was raised Catholic. I am not a religious person now. And that's all I'm going to say about religion. Trent says, before you do your sleep position video, you need to watch this one. Oh, yeah. There was a video he showed me about it's from Today I Found Out, which I was on their podcast, actually. They, not about this, but it's about how you breathe out of one nostril at a time most of the time. And it switches every like 4 hours. And that's why we're wired to move around when we sleep. So yeah, I was in the middle of that, but then I had to do this live stream. So I didn't. I didn't watch it all yet, but that is very interesting, and I'll probably include it in the video. I got to work on the video the rest of today and tomorrow and the next day. And then it's probably going to go up soon. And then on to a video about being happy in your home and the going to bed at 7 p.m. every night experiment, which that video won't go up until January. But I'm going to do the experiment in December. And then end of year, I'm going to do a video, probably a roundup video about all the goals that I've done so far, all the challenges I've done so far, and how they have, and just a check-in, how I'm doing now, an update on all of them. I don't know what the title of that would be. How the 30-day challenges have changed me, or something like that. And Trent, you're looking forward to the happy in your home vid. Why is that? Because are you at home a lot and you want to know how to be happy? Is there no deadline for the Packers fans video? There's no deadline. We would like to have it in like Sundance next year, which is like towards the end of the year. fall of next year. I plan on working on it through January and February hard. I have one video I want to do in February around Valentine's Day, but other than that, I'm not going to be, and I'm going to put out the waking up at 7 p.m., going to bed at 7 p.m. every night video in January. Hopefully I'll have that done before January so that I can work only on the documentary through January and February. That's my goal. Just work on the documentary and get it get as close to done as possible. Finish it throughout the rest of the year, hopefully. Wheezy Rewind. Ooh, I don't know. The Rewind brand is not very beloved, shall we say. Beloved. Exactly, Trent. Here's the thing. I have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and I'm going to come back and play that Built to Spill song. All right. You get the car, I'll get the night off. You'll get the chance to take the world apart and figure out how it works. Don't let me know what you find out. You need a car, I need a car. You need a guide who needs a map. If I don't die or worse, I'm gonna need a nap. The best I'll be asleep when you get back. I wanna see it when you find out what comets, stars, and moons are all about. I wanna see their faces turn to backs of heads and slowly get smaller. I wanna see it now. I wanna see it now. I want specifics on the general idea. Oops. I wanna think what I should know. Want you to do me what to show. Want you to do me what to show. It's the reverse of want you to show me what to do. Genius. I wanna see movies of my dreams. 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 I wanna see it when you get stoned on a clouded, breezy desert afternoon. I wanna see it untain itself and break its own earth. I wanna see it now. I wanna see it now. Yeah. Niels, it's not rude. It's okay. I liked watching your conversation while I was playing. That song ends with like a little guitar solo, but I don't know how to play it. I didn't learn it. Sorry, guys. I didn't learn it. All right. I probably got to get going. I gotta work on this sleep position video real hard. the rest of the day. Ada and China are gone. They're out of town for the weekend. So I can really actually get things done for once in my life. But I'm sad because they're gone. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have an apple and peanut butter. And I'm going to have smiles. I hope you have smiles too. Go sleep. Well, I'd love to nap. I'm not feeling the greatest, but I really ought to get things done. Although it is about sleep position, so I probably should go sleep. You're right. Okay. I'll go sleep. Thank you guys for the support. I'm going to keep trying to make videos as good as I can. And life is good. Bye-bye.